Hey, what's up everyone? Josh Quinones here, and this right here is the Hisense U8QG 4K Mini LED TV. The one I have here in-house is the 65-inch model, but it is available in a wide range of sizes. We've got a 55-inch model, a 65-inch, a 75-inch, 85-inch, and a massive 100-inch model. But this TV does support Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. It's got a 4.1.2 multi-channel sound system. It is a Google TV, so you're gonna be able to download all of your favorite Google apps and all of that good stuff. And right now, currently, at the time of making this video, it is currently going for around $998, which is a super good deal for this 65-inch model. And I gotta say, this has to be one of my favorite TVs that I have used this year so far. It has been just such a great experience using this TV as my main TV in the living room right now. Now, no, that's not to say that the TV is perfect, because honestly, there have been a couple of annoyances here and there, which we will get into here in a little bit. But first, let me talk about some of the things that I do really like about this TV, with the first thing just being the overall picture quality. Now, as far as the display goes, this does have a mini LED Pro display with up to 5,000 nits of peak brightness. And let me tell you, this TV can get super bright. I literally have no problems watching it in a dark setting or a really bright setting. I can have, you know, the blinds open on the window and the sliding door right next to where the TV is and still be able to watch what I'm watching just perfectly fine. I have no problem with brightness whatsoever. It gets more than bright enough. And then we also get up to 5,600 local dimming zones. You got a 165 hertz native display. We're getting minimal bezel all the way around just for an overall better viewing experience. And then this is also an anti-reflection Pro display as well. So you're not gonna have to worry too much about reflections maybe coming from windows or maybe some lamps that you may have across the room or anything like that. This does a really good job at getting rid of a lot of those reflections, so you can watch more comfortably what it is that you're watching on this display. Now, I'm not here to talk all of the, you know, super techie talk with you guys. I simply just want to share what my overall experience has been like with this TV. And let me tell you, when it comes to just overall picture quality, I have been loving it. I mean, watching movies has been great. Watching TV shows has been great, or just videos on YouTube and even gaming. I mean, the overall picture quality that we get on this TV right here has been so enjoyable. We're getting a nice crystal clear picture. Like I mentioned earlier, it is a nice bright display. And then that, you know, mixed along with the anti-reflectiveness that we get with the display, I can pretty much sit anywhere in my living room that I want and still be able to enjoy what I'm watching on this TV. It handles viewing angles very, very well. Now, of course, you know, when sitting in the center in front of the TV, that's always going to be the best viewing angle, because yes, when sitting off to the side, the colors, you know, might not be as good as they were in the center as before. The picture might not be as sharp, but it still looks really, really good, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. So when it just comes to overall picture quality with this TV right here, I really have no big complaints at all. It is super enjoyable. The colors look great, and the colors can really pop as well, of course, you know, depending on what you are watching. But just the overall picture quality, I have no major complaints with this TV. It is one of my favorite things about this TV. Now, one of the things that I kind of noticed is that when it comes to brightness, it is more brighter around the whole middle section of the TV, and then up towards, you know, the top and bottom corners is where it kind of gets a little less brighter than the rest of the TV. Now, that just kind of depends on what I'm watching is when I will kind of notice that. But I mean, aside from that, overall, like I said, picture quality, absolutely beautiful looking TV when it comes to the display. Now, of course, we do get our different picture modes. We're getting a vivid mode, a standard mode, sports mode, energy saving mode, a theater day, which is one of my favorites. That along with the vivid, we got a theater night, filmmaker mode. We got an IMAX mode, which looks great as well. And then of course, all of the, you know, HDR versions of these modes. And then we have Dolby Vision IQ, Dolby Vision Dark, Dolby Vision Custom, and then a gaming mode as well. So tons of different picture modes there to choose from to give you the best picture quality possible. Then of course, you can always go into the TV settings and further customize the overall picture. But I mean, just out of the box and choosing one of these picture modes that is available, I mean, it already looks super, super good. Now, I did mention gaming looks good as well, and that takes me to the kind of gaming portion of this video, because I have been enjoying my gaming experience with this TV as well. Whether you're a casual gamer like myself, or even somebody who is more advanced advanced, you are going to enjoy the gaming experience that this TV gives you. We're getting a native 165 hertz display. So if you have your PS5, your Xbox, or even the new Nintendo Switch 2, that's going to give you up to that 120 frames per second. You can hit those frames with those consoles on this TV. And then of course, if you want a higher frame rate, that's when you are going to have to, connect a PC to get the higher frame rate. But this also has a game booster 288. We're getting a game bar that is going to allow you to further customize your gaming experience. So up at the top of this game bar, it's going to give you information like the console that you're playing on, the frames per second that you're getting, HDR, VRR, auto low latency mode, and HSR. And then down at the bottom, you have different game genres you can choose from. Depending on what game you're playing, you can choose the one that looks best for that game. And then we have different themes, which is actually really cool. So depending on what gaming console you're playing on, or even if it's a PC, you can pick a theme to fit that console that you're playing on. Or like I said, a PC. And for, this instance, as you're seeing here, I chose the Nintendo Switch theme because it goes with the Nintendo Switch 2 that I was currently playing on. Change up the dark detail, got brightness, instant game response. You could choose different crosshairs with the crosshair color adaptation as well for shooting games. And then you have your game guide and then more settings. And within these more settings, you actually have an option for frames per second viewing, so you can be able to view the frames per second that you are getting with that game that you are playing at the time. So you'll be able to know if your frames per second is dropping or if you're getting the highest frames per second available for that game. Now, I do recommend choosing game mode when playing games. Do not forget to switch it into gaming mode, because what I noticed is one time I forgot to switch it up into game mode. I think I had it like in vivid mode or something like that, and I noticed the game was kind of lagging. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, why is my game lagging? It either has to be the TV or the console or my internet connection. I checked all of that and I could not figure it out until I finally switched it to gaming mode. I noticed that it wasn't in gaming mode. And when I switched that, picture option to gaming mode, I had no more lag in my gameplay. And after that, it was smooth sailing. So I do recommend to remember to switch it into gaming mode. But once you do all of that and you have it customized the way you want, I mean, the gaming experience on this TV is great, especially if you have one of the bigger sized TVs. I mean, it really makes it feel like you're in the game. You get that nice immersive experience, but I mean, the colors look great. The response time is great. I really don't experience any lag, any latency. Like I said, as long as I'm in that gaming mode, I'm getting a great gaming experience overall. And it just looks really, really good on this TV. And you're getting a nice, super smooth gameplay, especially when you're hitting those higher frames per second. So whether you're a casual gamer like myself or someone more advanced, you're really going to enjoy just the overall gaming experience that you get with the Hisense U8Q right here. Now, still in the section of things that I like about this TV, another one of those things is sound quality that we get with the Hisense U8Q right here. I mean, the sound is great. And I think I've said this about past Hisense TVs as well. I always think they do a great job when it comes to the sound in their TVs. Now, this does come with two built-in subwoofers in the back of this TV, and they do a really good job at giving you that good low end that you want to hear, especially when watching movies. And when it comes to like action scenes and things like that, you can really hear that good low end and that good thump when you're listening, to certain types of music, and even if you hear a good bass line in the background of that music, you can hear it nicely, with this TV right here. And you're getting a nice clear sound as well when it comes to the highs, the mids, the lows. I mean, overall, me personally, I think the sound is great. Now, me personally, I did turn up the bass just a little bit in the settings because that's what I like. I like to feel what it is I'm watching, and this TV really delivers that. So if you don't want to dish out extra money for a soundbar, even though that is going to give you a better sound experience overall, but if you don't want to dish out that extra money, you will be more than happy enough with the sound coming out of the Hisense U8QG right here. But let me go and just give you a little sound test.
So, my father tells me you hate bullfighters.
I hate everybody.
Okay, let's do this.
So what do y'all think about sound? Let me know down in the comments. Now, of course, you know, my microphone is not going to do the TV justice when it comes to sound, but just to give you a little idea of what it could sound like, of course, it's always going to sound better in person. But now I want to talk about the overall build quality of the TV, the design and everything, because this is another thing that I like about this TV. It actually looks like a really high quality TV, very durable feeling TV. It's definitely got some heft to it. I had to put this thing together myself, and yeah, it was definitely a bit heavier than a lot of other TVs that I have put together that are this size, but it definitely gives it a higher quality feel, if that makes sense. And then the bottom leg, it's right in the center, which is great because you can fit this TV pretty much on any sized TV stand, whether you have a smaller one for that moment or a bigger one. I mean, it's going to fit because of that center leg, and it's definitely a high quality full metal leg. And then in the back, like I mentioned before, we get those built-in subwoofers, and the TV itself is a bit thicker as well, but that's because of the sound system that we are getting in this TV. So honestly, I'm not even gonna complain about how thick the TV is, because even with it being a little thicker than others, it actually still looks really good. It is not an eyesore in my living room. And then of course, you also have your ports. You have 2 USB-A ports, a headphone jack, an AV in, 3 HDMI ports that all support 4K 165 Hz, which is nice. And one of those can be used for EARC for a soundbar. You got your antenna cable, digital audio out, LAN, and then on the side, we also have a USB Type-C input. But now let me talk about some of the things that I kind of find annoying here and there, or things that I feel can be improved or added onto this TV. Now, one of those things is, for some reason, it doesn't happen all the time, okay? This is just every now and then, but when it does happen, it's annoying as heck sometimes. Sometimes when we power on the TV, or even not just powering on the TV, but we're trying to go from one app to another, sometimes the TV just automatically goes straight to Netflix. And I don't know why. And we're not trying to go to Netflix. We don't press the button to go to Netflix. So I'm not sure why it's constantly going to Netflix like that, you know, the times that it does. Like I said, it doesn't happen every single time. It's not all the time, but there have been quite a few times where this has happened. And after a while, it does get kind of annoying. Like, what the heck is going on? Why is it doing this to me? Why do I keep going to Netflix? I'm not trying to go to Netflix. So I'm not sure if this is something that can be, you know, fixed with an update or anything like that. Hopefully. Now, the next thing is sometimes I do experience a little bit of lag or latency just when scrolling through the TV, not with anything else, not with gaming, not when watching things or anything like that, but just simply when, you know, kind of scrolling through the TV menu, whether I'm going from app to app or just, you know, kind of scrolling down through the recommended stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's my internet or the TV itself, because I do notice when everything is loaded up, like once I have scrolling through everything and, you know, I'm going back and forth, during that time, yes, it is a super smooth experience. I mean, performance is great, but it's when, you know, I kind of just turn the TV on and I start scrolling through, it kind of gives you that little tiny pause, and then it'll start going again, and then give you that little tiny pause and then start going again. So I'm not sure if it's just trying to load stuff because of the internet or if it's the TV itself, because I do also notice that when coming out of an app back to the home screen is when I'll kind of experience that little bit of lag again, and then it'll start, you know, running smooth again. So it might be my internet, it might be the TV, really not sure, to be quite honest with you. I am running it off Wi-Fi, but I mean, other than that, it is, you know, just overall, it is a smooth experience once everything is loaded up. So after, you know, kind of scrolling through everything, getting rid of all of the pauses, then everything starts smooth, scrolling, you know, scrolling through nice and smoothly. But aside from that, of course, this is is a Google TV, so you will be greeted with that, Google home screen when going into this TV. You get to download all of your favorite apps that you can get on the Google Play Store. You have, your live TV section as well. If you're someone who likes to watch live TV, free live TV, I should say, you got your whole guide there and everything. You got your app section, your search section, your notification section. So, if you've had a Google TV before, then you will be pretty familiar with just the overall UI of this TV right here. Now, one thing that I wish this TV did have is a backlit remote. Yes, this remote is, it does look familiar. It is something that we've seen in the past. It's a nice looking remote. You get your dedicated buttons up at the top. You get your trackpad and all that, volume buttons, channel buttons, power button, all that good stuff. But the buttons are not backlit. So if you happen to be watching TV in the dark and you need to go home or change the volume or, browse the TV or whatever, you're just gonna have to go by feel with your finger, because if you can't see, then you can't see. The buttons are not backlit, unfortunately. So not really sure why they didn't do backlit buttons this year with the TV in their, higher model of the U series. But yeah, it would have been nice to have, a backlit remote. But that's pretty much it. Just kind of, 3 different things that, I feel could be improved with this TV. And other than that, everything else I have just been really enjoying with the Hisense U8QG right here. So in my opinion, it is a great TV. Can definitely recommend it, especially when you compare it to the competition. For a TV like this, they're pricing their TVs a lot higher than what Hisense is pricing theirs at, and you get a lot for the price with the Hisense U8QG right here. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comment sections below. What do y'all think about the TV? If you are interested, I'll make sure to drop a link down in the description below. And if it is available on the YouTube shop, I'll make sure to have it, up on the YouTube shop as well, so you can check one out for yourself. But I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment sections below. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you did like this video and find it helpful, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any other future videos to come. Thanks for watching. This is Josh Quinones. I will see you on the next one. Peace out.